What's going on, YouTube? Finally finished my Remington 700. This is my bolt action 308 build. Wanted to show it off, want to show you the parts I have. And yeah, let's get into it. I'll go from the tip to the buttstock and just do a parts breakdown and tell you why I got them. And yeah. So starting off, we have a SilencerCo Harvester 300. It's a can. It's a 30 cal can and is mounted on the Remington Atlas mount, which I'm very happy with. It's a threaded and tapered mount, so it gives you two locking features. Let me focus. So you can see how it is tapered right here. It's focusing in a weird way, probably on the wall. It's tapered and then threaded, and so it gives you two locking features. It bottoms out, and so it's going to have a very secure final lock position, and so it's supposed to really help with the accuracy. The good thing about the Remington Atlas is it's a very compact. You can notice how it's a QD and adds a very little length. I would estimate, a third of an inch. It's very little weight, and it's QD. I can put this on different firearms and still have a QD can that has excellent return to zero with minimal weight. This can also has the features of being lightweight. I was pretty particular with a can. I wanted something that was relatively rugged and something not made out of titanium for the cost factor, and also the part that titanium usually does not do well with heat for a rugged can. So I was very happy with this. It's made of steel, 17.4. It's made out of a cobalt, and I believe I want to say Inconel for the blast baffle, all while doing that being an 11-ounce can. So very happy with it. It's mounted using the FPM, the Freedom Precision Manufacturing muzzle brake. There are plenty of Plan B, which is the mounting option for the Remington. Plan B muzzle devices. Remington makes them, lots of different companies. This is FPM. And what I liked about it was it's a traditional looking muzzle brake. I actually did experiment using Remington. I didn't like how the wrench flats on the Remington was like a 1/16. I didn't actually have any of those wrenches. This uses a traditional flats. You can use a standard AR-15 wrench, and you can mount it using that flats. Where the Remington, you have to have a specialty wrench, or at least I didn't have it. And so I was able to get everything on here pretty good to go without much issues. And it is mounted using a shim, stainless steel shim. So it's proper concentricity, proper alignment using my can, no issue. And a benefit with this is being traditional design. It doesn't have any crazy ports or any crazy tines. I just wanted a very simple muzzle brake. And check out Freedom Precision Manufacturing if you're looking for a mount for your can. Going further back. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So baseline, the rifle is a tactical version, which I'll show you. Tactical version of the Remington 700. And what that basically means for a bolt action rifle is that it has a shorter barrel and is threaded. It's actually quite hard to find a Remington 700 that's threaded. Most of them, or like in a kind of target or varmint style, where it doesn't come with a threaded barrel. So we have a heavy profile. It's slightly tapered, where if you look near the chamber, you can see how it tapers and it slowly contours to a lower weight, but it's still a very thick profile. You can see how it's pretty thick even at the end. The barrel length is 20 inches, which is a good length. It's not too short, not too long, but it is still, pretty big size gun. We're looking at 20 plus, this is approximately 7 inches total when you consider the added increased length of the muzzle brake, the Atlas adapter mount, and the actual can. So we're looking at about a 27-inch configuration as is. It's not insignificant, and it definitely does have a cost benefit if you want to go with a shorter barrel. It's more compact. Definitely don't want to go any longer. This is probably at the high end of having a barrel length. 27 is quite long. So But yeah, that's what it is. And I do want to say that this is a approximately 2012 production Remington, according to a serial number lookup. And I'm not a Remington expert, so I can't say if this is like a 5 or a bill. But it's one of the pre-bankruptcy, the pre-freedom manufacturing. Before this, it was a lower quality Remington, so one of the golden ages. Very happy to have it. The bipod is just the Harris. This is the compact version. It's the 6 to 9 inch. It's the smallest one they make. And it folds up. Not much to it. Got a cutie mount, the same Magpul mount onto my Magpul Pro stock. This is just a Magpul Pro. They make many different versions, I should say, between the light, the non-folding. This one is the folding version. Once if I press this button, doing everything one-handed, and so I can fold the stock, and it just locks in. The cool thing is when I fold this is that this opening right here actually locks in the bolt handle on the right side. So pretty cool. Not only is this more compact for transport, you don't have to worry about your bolt knob getting loose or anything like that. So pretty cool setup. Going back, we have a 20 MOA scope base made by MGW. For the rings, we get the Vortex PM. This is the precision match rings. It's the highest end rings they make. This one happens to be the medium height, and so that's a 0.87 inch scope ring rise. And I definitely could have gone with the low. I actually already had these rings on hand. But you can see how I have plenty of clearance between the bell of the scope, and I have plenty of clearance with my bolt handle. So it would have been more beneficial for me in hindsight to buy the lower scoping heights. However, it'd be a lot of hassle to, get rid of these, buy new ones, try to sell the old ones. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to keep my medium height rings, and it's actually not a bad setup as is. So happy with it, how it's configured. For the scope, we got the Vortex PST. It's the Gen 2 version, the 5 to 25. Very solid scope. It's a good price range. It's not too crazy while still giving you lots of performance. And this one is the mil version. They make them in MOA and mil. And I have all my scopes in mil just to have a consistency between my different scoped rifles. Getting to the trigger. I'll have to pull up a picture. But this is a really nice trigger. I currently have it set in the 2.5 pound range. Because I know the trigger is adjustable between, I believe, 10 ounces and 4.5 pounds. I have mine adjusted at 2.5, and I was happy with it. The Magpul Pro stock does use the AICS magazine. The cool thing is it does have a pedal release here, and I found the best way to use it is to actually use your trigger finger. And while you have a shooting grip, you can just reach over and you drop your magazine just like that. I have tried using, reaching back with your support hand and using a paddle kind of like that. However, just found it was easier to do everything. It's a drop-free release. If I just use my trigger finger and push forward, it comes out automatically. So the Magpul Pro stock, the Magpul AICS 5-round magazine, I do have a bunch of 10s, and it's good length. I like the 5. Few complaints with the Magpul Pro stock. It is a very expensive, which is a consideration, but it's also very heavy. This adds about 4.5 pounds. They definitely have added a newer SKU, which is the light version, the non-folding. It's less cost, and it shaves off about 2 pounds of weight, so definitely something to consider. This is about a 16-pound setup as you see it, so it definitely would be a struggle to lug around. And shaving weight off, especially when you talk about pounds, is significant. So not only is it better for your wallet, it's also better for, you know, just day-to-day use. Having a lighter handy rifle is always nice. So I guess I was complaining about the weight, the cost, and I also don't like having this QD sling socket right here. It's a really bad spot. The reason that Magpul added this was if you are left-handed, you can just take this out and then have a bolt protrude on this side. However, you could still have a removable mount, and I would just completely delete the QD and probably save a little bit of money. I would never see any purpose of putting a QD sling mount right here. It's a very awkward spot, and cosmetically, I just don't like the look of having a QD just in the middle of your rifle. I think it's kind of an odd look. I think the last thing I haven't yet to show you is the other side. So let me swing this around. So the cool thing too is this is a threaded bolt knob that does have a enlarged bolt handle. Really nice. It's actually basically impossible to find an enlarged bolt handle Remington that's also threaded with a short bill. It was quite a hard find. I actually bought this setup used, and then I put my own scope, put my own can on there, and finally have it set up. Stay tuned. I'm probably going to do more shooting videos. And yeah, that's my Remington 700, just a tabletop overview of my setup. And yeah, thanks for watching.